too long. Hello, all my friends out there. It has been way too long since I did one of these blogs. It's been, I think maybe 3 weeks. Was really busy at work, and then I got sick, and things came up. I'm back now. I'm hoping to try to do them a little more regularly and maybe promote them a little bit more, because I know some of you have been like, Rob, you haven't done a blog in like 2 or 3 months. And I'm like, well, it hasn't quite been that long. I just haven't like tweeted them out and that sort of thing. So I will hopefully do that more and try to keep it a little more up to date. So about 3 weeks ago, when I last did one, I asked you to think about the economy and whether you saw it as a machine or as like an organism or an ecosystem. When I'm talking about the economy here, I'm talking about what is referred to as macroeconomics. So I'm talking about like the economies of countries and provinces and continents, not kind of like you trading things with you're a local merchant or anything like that. So we're talking about the big kind of economics. And really, these are kind of the two prevailing theories of this macroeconomics in the world. Which one I prefer, or whatever, or which one I like, I won't actually say, but there might be a little hints here and there, and maybe you can figure it out. And for those of you who know me, probably already know which one I prefer. Okay, so the first one is the machine thing. This is often associated with John Maynard Keynes and the London School of Economics. They see the macroeconomy as a machine. So when a machine's not working, what do? Well, you try to fix it. So they fix it through things like bailouts and helping hospitals and spending money. For him, a big thing is spending money. Spending money is a lot of the lifeblood of the economy. It's the fuel of the economy. So if the economy is failing, spend more money. That will get spending going. The the magnifying effect. So the idea is that if you spend money buying a house, well, that benefits the realtor, it benefits the carpenters who make the house, benefits the plumbers, and it just kind of, it's a ever ballooning thing that will benefit kind of the entire economy. And so they're very machine kind of based. It can be tinkered with, it can be changed, it can be figured out through statistics, through organization, through all those sort of things. And Keynes and the London School, or the Machine School, if we want to call it that, they would say too that this starts at the top. So large banks, large businesses, and governments do these things. They spend all this money and it trickles down to everybody. They certainly was for the prevailing theory for most of the 20th century, and even today, a lot of things that you see are Keynesian in their model. For example, I mean, bailing out some of those big corporations and stuff in the I guess late 2000s. That's a prime example of Keynesian economics. But even just when the times are hard and they decide to add another gymnasium to the rec center in your local community. That's a prime example there. The government spending money to help kind of revitalize the economy. So that's very Keynesian in its manner. The opposite theory, and one that has seen very little real practical implications in the world, is that of the, I guess, mostly associated with the Austrians, so people like Mises and Hayek and those sort of people. And they see it more as being like an organism, or really, I guess the best example would be an ecosystem. So in an ecosystem, everything kind of works as checks and balances to kind of work together to help. So, for example, a tree creates creates oxygen from carbon dioxide. We breathe it, right? It's kind of a symbiotic, almost partnership. They would also say that it starts at the bottom in their kind of system. So people save money, they live their lives. In doing so, that money is saved into banks. It can be used for new businesses. Businesses fall, businesses rise. So they would not be in favor of bailing out large corporations. They would say those corporations had bad policies. They failed. That money gets reallocated to a new place in the economy. It's all part of this natural cycle. For them, a big thing is the human action side. You can't figure out the economy. It's organic. So they would not agree with Keynes in that way. So they are a bottom up, where Keynes is a top down. They would also say too that all of the tinkering that Keynesians and governments would do actually hurt the economy, much like if you bring in a species that's not part of an ecosystem into a new ecosystem, it causes problems, right? Other species suffer, the plant life suffers, whatever. Ecosystems are flexible, they can take a little bit of this, but the more you do it, the more problems you cause. And the Austrian, the organic economy type people would say that that's what Keynes does. He actually causes more problems than good. These are kind of the two prevailing systems of kind of macroeconomics, your machine versus your organic. Well, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, you can see my Twitter and email and stuff. So you can email me and those sort of things. And yeah, until next week, I guess we are done here. Next week, I will be looking at war. What exactly is war? We have a lot of definitions, dictionary definitions, Wikipedia definitions, but they don't quite do it quite right. We'll also look at people like Clausewitz and John Keegan and stuff and look at kind of some of the definitions of what scholars have said about war. Well, until I see you next week, hasta la vista.